Do you believe it? There are homes so clean that the moment you step inside, you can smell fresh air and see light spreading from every little corner. The surprising thing is, their owners don't clean more than you. They just do it differently. In this video, I will reveal 10 habits that may sound strange. Some crawl on the floor to hunt for dust. Some take a paintbrush each month to tango with doors. And some even use ultraviolet light to spot hidden stains. It may sound a little crazy, but these small tricks make a big difference. And I promise, the final secret will give you chills while making you nod, because it explains why your house never stays as clean as you want. Before we start, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Your support is the motivation that keeps us sharing the things few dare to say. Thank you for being here. Let's begin with the first habit. Habit number 1. Look at your home from very low and very high angles. Richard, 68 years old, in Ohio, used to wonder why just hours after vacuuming, the floor was again sprinkled with dust and cat hair, as if it had never been cleaned. One afternoon, his grandson handed him a small flashlight and told him to crawl close to the floor and see the house from the dog's eye level. He was shocked to discover under the sofa, along the coffee table legs, around chair feet and baseboards, dust lined up in strips and pet hair rolled into little balls that his footsteps easily blew all over the room. From that moment, he began a simple but effective ritual. Once a week, he turned on the flashlight, used the vacuum crevice tool to sweep along furniture legs, circled the base of the kitchen cabinets, then grabbed a long-handled mop with a thin pad to quickly wipe under cabinets, beds, and low shelves. After a few weeks, he tried the opposite perspective from up high, using an extension duster to touch the top of the fridge, bookshelves, picture frames, and the kitchen hood, where fine dust sat like a blanket ready to fall whenever the air conditioner or ceiling fan blew strongly. The interesting part is he didn't spend more time cleaning. He just changed his viewpoint and used the right tools. A small flashlight, a crevice nozzle, a long-handled mop, and an extension pole. His floor stayed clean longer. The feeling of just cleaned but already dirty disappeared, and his morning sneezing allergies eased. He said the biggest lesson is, don't just clean where your eyes see straight ahead. Lower and raise your vision to find the real enemies of cleanliness. Because it's those hidden low spots and high tops that decide whether a home is truly clean or just clean on the surface. Habit number 2. Fingerprint hunting. Helen, 75 years old, living with her daughter in a small suburban house, always kept her kitchen tidy, but noticed guests rarely complimented its cleanliness. One day, her granddaughter handed her a damp cloth and said, "Grandma, let's play fingerprint hunting." Together they started with the refrigerator door, where the handle was shiny but the surface around it was smudged with greasy marks invisible from afar. Then moved to the kitchen door handle, microwave buttons, coffee maker front, light switches, and the wall edge where everyone leaned while thinking about what to eat. Helen was amazed when each patch of fingerprints disappeared to reveal a bright surface, and the kitchen seemed to light up in just 10 minutes. From then on, she set a light schedule. 3 days a week, after lunch, only 5 minutes, she grabbed a damp microfiber cloth with a bit of diluted soap and made a quick round of touch points. Refrigerator handle, door handles, switches, TV remote, stove knobs, coffee maker handle, dishwasher buttons, curtain pulls. She never sprayed directly on electronics, but sprayed the cloth, wiped in one direction to avoid streaks, and kept a separate cloth for TV and laptop screens. After 2 weeks, visitors began to say the kitchen looks brighter, even though her vacuuming and floor mopping routine stayed the same. She realized that the sense of cleanliness doesn't always come from the more you clean, the cleaner it gets, but from touching the right places where others touch first. Fingerprint hunting turned cleaning from a tiring battle into a quick, playful game with instant rewards, shiny surfaces, and small daily joy. Habit number 3. Touch-up tango. George, 70 years old in Florida, once thought his wooden house looked worn because of humid weather, sea winds, and old materials, but then realized another culprit: tiny scratches on the stair railings, bedroom door edges, and baseboards along the hallway. One Sunday afternoon, he found leftover white paint in the garage, lightly sanded a scratch with a fine sponge, wiped off dust, then brushed a thin coat exactly on the spot. Within minutes, the door edge looked renewed, and the old house feeling vanished at eye level. Excited, he carried a plastic cup as a mini paint tray and danced around the house like doing a tango with surfaces, dabbing only where scratches appeared. No overpainting. Afterward, he set a monthly reminder called 10-Minute Tango, opened the windows for ventilation, taped off edges with paper tape, and reminded his grandkids, don't touch the white parts until dry. Months later, an old friend asked if he had repainted the house, and he just smiled. He learned you don't need renovation or big expenses. Just fixing the little eye-level distractions makes the whole place look brighter and cleaner. The touch-up habit made him feel joyfully connected to his home. Each brushstroke was an act of care, each brightened corner a moment of pride. And because he only touched visible spots, he didn't get exhausted, yet always kept the home looking freshly cared for when welcoming family. Habit number 4. Deep drawer dive, 15 minutes. Mary, 69 years old, in Minnesota, used to see her kitchen drawer as her own Pandora's box. Spoons and forks mixed up, chip clips tangled with screwdrivers, old warranty papers next to chargers that fit no device. Just looking made her want to shut it and postpone it to someday, which never came. One day, her daughter set a 15-minute timer and said, "Mum, just one drawer. Stop when the alarm rings." Reluctantly, Mary tried, placing 3 baskets labeled keep, give, toss, deciding quickly by criteria, used within a year, still good, and has a proper place. When the bell rang, the drawer was neat, only essentials arranged in dividers. The relief made her want to continue, but she kept discipline, stopping at 15 minutes so she'd still feel eager tomorrow. Each week, she chose a different drawer: first aid kit, dish cabinet, or an old box in the garage. After 3 months, she found her home felt more spacious without ever having a full cleaning day. The drawer dives taught her 2 lessons. First, small repeated progress is the real way to declutter. Second, stopping on time keeps cleaning from feeling like torture and turns it into a pleasant habit. Most importantly, each tidy drawer made her feel she was reclaiming ownership of her home, bit by bit, not rushed, but steady. Habit number 5. Wiping doors, cabinets, and refrigerator handles. Robert, 74 years old in Texas, was always proud of his clean home, shiny floors, and tidy living room. Yet whenever friends visited, they only nodded politely without praising its cleanliness. One day, an old friend jokingly said his fridge handle had enough fingerprints to identify the whole family. The light-hearted comment struck him. The next day, He took a damp cloth and cleaning spray, starting with the fridge handle, then moving to the kitchen door, front door handle, and dishwasher front. In under 10 minutes, he realized the whole kitchen seemed to glow, surfaces shining more than hours spent mopping the floor. From then on, he kept this small habit weekly. He said it was the easiest task yet, gave the clearest result. He no longer worried about surprise visitors, knowing first touch points like door and fridge handles were spotless. His takeaway: you don't always need to clean the entire house to create a neat impression. Sometimes polishing small details where everyone touches is enough. This habit also made him feel in control of his living space, easing the pressure of big cleaning. Most of all, he found joy each time shiny doors reflected the lights, reminding him that care in small things can bring warmth and pride in his own home. Habit number 6. Window dance, opening the windows for fresh air. Anna, 71 years old in Boston, was used to long, cold winters, so for months she kept all her windows shut to stay warm. But gradually, she began to feel her house was stuffy, with food smells, dampness, and stale odors from furniture clinging to the walls. At night, she had trouble sleeping, and in the morning, she often woke with a heavy head. One day, her granddaughter suggested, "Grandma, just 10 minutes, open all the windows and let the wind carry away the old smells." At first, she refused, afraid of the cold air, but eventually she tried. Strangely enough, within minutes, fresh air rushed in, making her shiver but immediately feel better, as if the atmosphere had been washed clean. That night she slept deeply and woke refreshed. Since then, Anna has kept this monthly ritual, playfully calling it the window dance, the dance of wind and light. On the chosen day, she opens every window wide, switches on a fan to let air sweep through each room, carrying away stale odors and replacing them with freshness. Just 10 minutes, yet the effect lasts for days. She said not only did her home feel lighter, but she herself felt younger and more alive. This little habit takes no effort, no fancy tools, yet completely changes how clean the house feels. Her lesson was simple. Sometimes, to make your home brighter and fresher, you don't need to do more. You just need to let nature in. And it's the breeze that refreshes both your house and your spirit. Habit number 7. Deodorizing soft fabrics. Michael, 76 years old, lived in Seattle with his little dog Lucky. His home was always swept and vacuumed, yet visitors often sensed a lingering odor in the living room. At first, Michael felt hurt because he believed he kept his home very clean. But when his daughter visited and sat on the sofa, she gently said, "Dad, these pillows and cushions absorb odors all day. If you don't wash them, the smell won't go away." Her words made him think. The next day, he sprinkled baking soda on the entire sofa and carpet, let it sit for 30 minutes, then vacuumed thoroughly. He also washed all pillow covers and sent the curtains to be dry cleaned. When everything was clean and back in place, he was surprised that the room smelled fresh and looked brighter, almost like new. Later, he learned that most unpleasant odors in a home cling to soft fabrics, pillows, curtains, rugs, and cushions. Simply cleaning floors and tables wasn't enough. From then on, he kept a monthly odor release routine. The first week tackling the sofa, the next week washing pillow covers, then rugs and curtains. It took little effort but gave long-lasting results. Guests no longer frowned at unpleasant smells, but instead praised his home as fresh and airy. Michael felt more confident, ready to welcome visitors anytime. His lesson: odor is the invisible force that decides whether a home is truly clean, and only when you pay attention to soft fabrics can you truly control the feeling of cleanliness in your living space. Habit number 8. Cleaning the cleaning tools. Susan, 73 years old in Denver, always believed she was diligent in housekeeping. Every week, she vacuumed, mopped, washed towels, and tidied the kitchen. Yet recently she noticed her floors weren't shiny anymore. Dust returned quickly, and the mop gave off an unpleasant odor. She thought age had made her slower, until her son asked, "Mum, have you ever cleaned the vacuum?" Susan laughed because, in more than 10 years of use, she had only changed the dust bags but never washed the filters or checked the hose. That day, her son removed the filter, washed it with warm water, dried it, and put it back. He also washed the mop, cleaned the washing machine gasket, and scrubbed the rubber seal of the dishwasher. When she used them again, the results were completely different. The vacuum was powerful, the floor sparkled, and the bad odor vanished. Susan realized that the very tools meant to clean had become sources of dirt when neglected. Since then, she set a monthly reminder: wash the vacuum filter, launder the mop, clean the washing machine gasket and dishwasher seal, and replace old sponges. It all took less than half an hour, but it made a huge difference. She said now cleaning feels easier and more effective. She no longer feels worn out, but instead enjoys seeing her home truly clean. This habit taught her that for lasting cleanliness, it's not enough to tidy surfaces. You must also care for the very tools that quietly serve you every day. Habit number 9. Resetting the home like an Airbnb. David, 78 years old, in Arizona, was once a tour guide and had stayed in hundreds of hotels and Airbnbs. He always remembered the feeling of stepping into a tidy room, uncluttered, bright, and welcoming. After retiring and living alone, he began to notice his own home growing messy. Papers piled on the table, bottles covering the counter, sofa cushions askew, dishes in the sink. He still cleaned weekly, but the heaviness remained. One day, he came across a tip. Imagine your home is an Airbnb about to welcome guests. Curious, he tried. Walking from the front door as if he were a stranger, he suddenly saw clutter his eyes had long ignored. He quickly put away papers, wiped tables, cleared spice bottles, washed dishes, and straightened the cushions. It all took less than half an hour. Yet when he sat down and looked around, the difference was striking. The house seemed to glow with fresh energy. From then on, David practiced an Airbnb reset once a month, sometimes playing soft music to make it fun. He realized he didn't need deep cleaning just to see the house through a guest's eyes and fix the most distracting clutter. This habit not only helped him stay in control, but also made him feel like he was living in a space always ready to welcome visitors. His most important lesson: when you change the way you see, you change the way you live in your home. Habit number 10. The bathroom splash zone and conclusion. Caroline, 74 years old in Michigan, was always frustrated that her bathroom smelled no matter how often she cleaned. One day, her son brought home a UV light and switched it on in the dark. She was shocked to see stains around the toilet base, on the wall behind, and along the sides, hidden splash zones invisible to the naked eye. From then on, she changed her routine. Each week, she spent a few minutes wiping the floor, wall, and back of the toilet thoroughly, and reminded her family to close the lid before flushing. The smell disappeared. The bathroom became bright and fresh. and she felt more confident when guests visited. Her lesson: what you don't see is what truly decides if a house is clean. And just like the 9 habits before, the secret is in small details. Looking from high and low angles, wiping touch points, touching up scratches, decluttering a drawer, polishing doors and handles, opening windows, deodorizing fabrics, cleaning tools, resetting the house like Airbnb, and finally caring for the bathroom splash zone. You don't need perfection. Just start with one small change today. Your home will reflect who you are right now. Tidy, bright, and easier to live in. Thank you for staying with us until the end. If you found these tips helpful, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. We wish your home always stays neat, warm, and full of peace. See you in the next video.